Hey guys, so we got our snowblower all hooked up on the John Deere ready for the next storm, but there's something that we gotta have a look at, something we gotta fix, because it's just a pain in the butt. And it's this deflector. So I can control the chute with my loader lever. It's all rigged up with hydraulics, but as far as the deflector, I have to keep getting out of the cab and adjusting it here. I know you can get some electrical parts for this actuator or whatever through John Deere, but I believe just for the parts it was right around $540, $530. So I'm going to show you what I found on Amazon for 120 bucks. Okay guys, so this is the stuff we got off Amazon. This is a momentary switch. It's your rocker style. Automatically, it's like a spring loaded, automatically goes back to the neutral zone so it won't stay on. That's what we want to control that deflector. That was about $16 to $18. And we got this actuator. This is a 12 volt, and this rod extends out 4 inches, so I think that'll be plenty. It's a little bit heavy duty for that chute, but the price was right, and hopefully it'll stand up to. Seems to be sealed really well, so hopefully it'll stand up to the rain and the cold weather. So we got these mounting brackets, pins. So yeah, all that for, I don't know, just over $100. So let's get her hooked up. I'm just kind of picking through the toolbox there to use up some of the stuff that I've had. I've got this little fuse holder. I think I'll hook that up just to be safe. And I have some of these connectors. They seem to work pretty good. So it gives it a good seal, good tight seal. We got some 14 gauge wire. Alright, let's go out and we'll measure this up. We'll drill our holes and we'll get this mounted first. Haven't got any galvanized bolts, but keep these ones sprayed up, and if they get bad I can replace them later with some galvanized bolts. They don't rust. So we'll make sure we have enough to get to the switch, because this is going to go from this right to the switch. I've got a couple pieces of wire to go from the actuator to the switch. I think I got them just kind of rough measured it there, so I think I got them long enough. Hook this up to our switch. We'll just go with red on red for the heck of it. I think what I'm going to do once I get away to the hardware store, I'll get one of those electrical plugs and I'll cut these off. This is just for a quick fix, but I'll cut these off and I'll actually put a plug here. Or I might put it up further, closer to the tractor too, I don't know. But we'll revisit this and we'll put a plug in. So when we take the snowblower off at the end of the season, we can unplug all this wiring. Hey guys, it was too hard to hold the camera and do the wiring at the same time, so I'm just going to give you a good description of what I did with this actuator on this deflector. So we got it all bolted on, and the wire that comes out of the actuator ends right about here. And what it is, it'll be a black and red wire, so you'll be able to pair them up. So I just had some 14 gauge wire. I spliced them on there, and I'll show you the melters, connectors I used. Just followed it along, and I come in through under here and up through the pedal. The pedal doesn't affect it at all. And then right in under the, if you can see, right in under the dash, right in under the console here, and fed them up and through here, and then onto this connector. Now the ones that come from, the two wires that come from the actuator are the two wires that fit right in the middle of this switch. So one there in the middle and one there in the middle, side by side. The other four connectors go to your battery. I'll have to get some tape or maybe glue that down because it wasn't a good fit, but these here just pop out by hand for your switches. Now the other two wires that leave this switch, I use the quick connects, 14 gauge wire as well, the red and black, and I followed the other two wires, come all the way back, same spot, and I went in through here and onto the battery, and I used these connectors, just crimp them connectors on for the bolts for your positive and your negative. And I also added this little fuse here, splice that on. I want to show you these connectors that I used. So these right here, they got a little bit of copper in the center, and they'll heat shrink. It just gives you a good bond keeps moisture out. So when I put them in, I'll just kind of mesh the two wires together. Try not to buckle any. Try not to buckle any of the copper wires, because when you heat shrink it, they'll poke out through the tube there, the plastic. The other way that's better than this is if you just want to solder the two wires together first with a soldering gun. I find these work pretty good. You can use a heat gun, or I just use the lighter. That's it. Gives you a nice tight seal. And if you want, what I did after, I just used some of these sleeves just for a little extra protection. So I'll slide the sleeve right over that again, even though that's, that's locked, that's good and tight. I'll slide that over. It's just easier to show you in the vise here what I used. This is just a little extra protection. There, you got a good connection there. It's good and keeps out the moisture. So that's what I did with all my connections with this job. Now when I got to the battery post, what I used are these connectors here. Just crimp them on. They lock pretty tight. Put that on the battery and that's it. That's everything I used, guys. So that's just kind of a quick fix. I'll revisit in the summer, and I think I'll put some of this this wire protectant cover, this black stuff, all the way over it. But every time I take the snowblower off in the spring, I'll be taking all this wiring off with it. So, but like I said, it was $550 just for the kit through John Deere, and I got this one for 110 bucks off Amazon. So it's a little slower, but I think it works fine. Sure saves getting out of the cab and running it by hand. Here's just a look at it, guys, after I got all the side panels on and the covers and everything. Like I say, once I get that black plastic wire protector on, it'll look a lot better. You won't see the colored wires. And eventually, maybe this summer, I'll splice a connector here somewhere, plug connect, so if I want to take my snowblower off in the winter and throw the loader on just to push some snowbanks back or something like that, I'll be able to just unplug it there. Just one thing I will say, guys, when you do hook one of these up, just make sure you leave enough slack there for your chute to turn. So we'll start it up and try it out. Put a link in the description, guys, for the actuator and the parts that I used for this job. You can get them off Amazon. Like I said, it cost me about 110, 120 bucks for everything. And through John Deere, they wanted $540 $5.50 roughly just for the parts, so save some money. Alright guys, we'll see how this thing works the next snowstorm, and I'll be sure and do a video of that. Thanks for watching.